coming at such short notice. I think it's fair to say that during the course of the week there's been a lot of information backwards and forwards relative to Pine Hill, the excess milk inventory, school meals, milk in general, and what's going to happen in terms of how we dispose of the excess, what's going to happen in school meals, etc., etc. I have good news to report. There was a meeting this morning at the Ministry of Agriculture hosted by the Minister of Agriculture, Dr. Eswick. Pine Hill was invited, as were representatives from the farmers. At that meeting, Dr. Eswick gave the commitment of the government to provide some assistance for the industry to move forward insofar as dealing with the backlog or the excess inventory that Pine Hill has, but also with dealing in going forward with some of the issues that have come to the top of late. He confirmed that school meals will take the amount of milk that they have taken in the past. So the information relative to the school meals program, not including Pine Hill milk, has now been resolved. They will take Pine Hill milk for their program to the extent that they took it the same amount they took last year. He also brought to the table some new proposals from the government to deal with what is seen as a means of getting the volume of milk consumption up. Certain welfare programs that the government subscribes to in terms of food vouchers for those in need will be restructured so that there will be a component that will include local fresh milk. And I believe it's called the breakfast feeding program undertaken by the YMCA will also be restructured to include local fresh milk. Those are seen as positives by us and by the farmers themselves, as anything that encourages consumption is to be applauded. He also offered the auspices of the GIS in terms of getting the message out to the community at large about the health benefits involved with milk. I'm sure you're aware that there's a lot of information out there, some may say this or misinformation, relative to the health benefits of consuming fresh milk. He has offered us the opportunity to utilize GIS, and we will be working closely with them in terms of a series of programs to air on CBC in their slot, to dispel some of the myths that are masquerading as fact out there. As I said, there are countless medical programs done on milk and milk consumption in the wider world, but we have to be conscious of the fact that the conditions in Barbados in our milk industry do not mirror exactly the conditions in the milk industries in the wider world. Our cows are largely fed on grass and are qualified for organic, whereas in some other countries that would be a different norm of production. So suffice to say that we've had a meeting with our staff today to give them the good news. We've also passed on to the farmers the good news that we will be cancelling our intentions of going on a week-on, week-off. So collections from the farms will continue as the program develops. We have still to go back with the Minister and sit down and discuss the mechanics as to how the package will be applied over the next 10 weeks or so. But we take him at his word, and he's never let us down in that respect. And we hope to be able to report to the public at large the specifics of it before the close of next week, when we have the actual numbers and how it will resound to the consuming public. But safe to say there will be a price adjustment. We just don't know yet how deep that price adjustment will be.
I assume that's upward.
No, a price adjustment downward.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But you assume upward.
Okay. What's the worth of the package in terms of dollars?
Well, we're waiting final word from him and the Ministry of Finance exactly how it will be applied. We believe that the plan has has various components. There are two components insofar as finance is concerned. That will span 2 years in the initial period, and then there are those other programs that I mentioned: school meals getting back to their full allocation, the welfare food vouchers, and the breakfast feeding programs. We're waiting from them as to the impact of those, because those are ones that we would not have participated in directly before.
Okay.
And of course, having access to GIS to promote the health benefits of milk and so on, it's difficult to put a dollar value on that, but certainly it would have a sizable dollar value.
So, if you had to describe all of this, how would you describe all of this?
Well, as I told the Minister, Christmas has come early this year, certainly for our staff and farmers, and hopefully within the next week or so, consumers as well.
What are the issues,
The issue is settled insofar as what was outlined and discussed this morning comes to fruition. There's many a slip between the cup and the lip, as they say. So as I said, we're taking the minister's word that this is approved and moving forward, and we have done our part based on that. We have cancelled the layoff and cancelled the cessation of collection on a week-on, week-off from the farmers. So,
any further cuts in quarter proposed?
We also have to now sit down with the farmers over the next 10 weeks, in that 10-week program, and come up with a proposal or a package that would avoid situations such as this from redeveloping in the future. Farmers and the dairy have committed to do that.
So no plans to cut quotas?
At this point, it would be early. We have to go through. Obviously, you would have to see the benefit that this program brings, and based on that benefit, there would have to be some adjustment one way or the other. But in the absence of measuring the benefit, it would be difficult to go and adjust the quota at the outset. That's more at the back end.
Did he address the issue of importation?
He addressed it in his lead up to discussing it, in that looking at the numbers, and I must compliment the minister on the thoroughness of his research. He had done quite a bit of research insofar as the milk industry in Barbados is concerned, and brought to the table evidence as to the statistics, which in large measure dispelled a lot of the widely held view that it is this perhaps problem that's causing it, or that perhaps problem that's causing it. The biggest problem is that there's for lack of a better word, it's a drop in consumption, and we're not too sure what has spurred that. But we recognise that it is not something of the farmers building or Pine Hill for that matter, and we have to address some of the issues that could contribute to it. At this point in time, we're looking at price as one, and perhaps the marketing aspects of it, getting the word out in terms of the health benefits of milk. I think that there's been a lot of disinformation and misinformation about whether persons should drink milk after passing a certain age, or I constantly hear reports from persons in the community that milk is for young people and women. It's not for men once you get past a certain age, and we have evidence to support the opposite, and that's what we need to get out there.
In terms of the price adjustment, though, how is that going to impact on the players as well?
Well, that is where we're waiting to find out the actual final numbers from the ministry. As I said, we have an idea of where we could go, and the minister has the numbers available, and as soon as he gets back to us, we will be able to give. But it will be something more substantial than you've seen in the past.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.